What would you do if the parents who ignored you your entire life suddenly came knocking at your door, begging for help? Would you forgive them, or would you finally say no, the one word they never expected to hear? This is the story of a woman who faced that exact moment, a daughter who was taught to survive alone, while her sister was handed everything. Years later, when her parents' golden world collapsed, she had to make a choice: rescue the people who left her behind, or protect the peace she fought to build. And the decision she made divided her entire family. But before we get to that, we need to start where it all began, with two sisters, one promise, and a lesson that would change everything. She grew up in what everyone around her thought was a normal home: two parents, two daughters, and a quiet suburban street. From the outside, it looked perfect. But inside, the air always felt different, heavier somehow. Her little sister was the center of her parents' world, the golden one, the one who got the best clothes, the newest phone, the bigger room, and endless praise. She got the leftovers, attention only when something needed fixing. It wasn't about love, it was about priority. Whenever her sister wanted something, her parents rushed to make it happen. When she asked for help, they'd sigh and say, "You need to learn to be independent. That's how you'll survive in this world." She didn't realize it then, but that phrase, "be independent," was their way of saying, "You're on your own." By middle school, she had already learned how to earn her own money: babysitting, walking dogs, saving every dollar. Her sister never had to lift a finger. And every time she'd see her parents slip cash into her sister's hand, she'd force a smile. Because she'd already learned something most people never do. Love, when conditional, stops feeling like love. When she turned 16, her classmates were planning for college, talking about majors, dorms, scholarships. But for her, those dreams ended in a single conversation. Her parents sat her down and said calmly, "We're not paying for your college, we just can't. You'll need to figure it out on your own." No hesitation, no apology, just a fact. She was stunned, not because they said no, but because she knew deep down, if her sister asked, the answer would be yes, and she was right. 2 years later, her sister got into a university, and her parents paid everything: tuition, dorms, car, extra spending money. When asked how they afforded it, her father smiled and said, "You do everything for your kids." But not every kid, apparently. That was the moment she stopped asking for anything. She worked full-time, skipped college, and learned life the hard way. She didn't go out, didn't travel, didn't even buy new clothes unless she had to. She was surviving, not thriving. Her sister, meanwhile, was living the dream. Spring breaks in Europe, new gadgets, endless selfies of a life that seemed perfect. But what her parents never realized was this: every dollar they spent on one daughter was another wall built between them and the other. Time moved on. By her mid-20s, she had carved out her own path: small apartment, steady job, and peace that didn't depend on anyone. Her parents barely checked in. Her sister still called occasionally, usually to brag about something new: a trip, a promotion, a gift from mom and dad. The woman didn't hate her family. She just stopped expecting anything from them. And when you stop expecting, you stop getting disappointed. Still, sometimes at night, she'd catch herself wondering what it felt like to be someone's favorite, to be chosen without earning it. But she'd push that thought away, telling herself, "You don't need them. You made it on your own." And for a long time, that was true. Until one day, her phone rang. It was her mother. The tone was soft at first, almost rehearsed. "Sweetheart, your dad and we're going through a hard time." Then came the pause, that heavy, quiet moment before the truth dropped. "We've run out of money." She froze. They explained how the debts piled up: college bills, car payments, loans, all for her sister. They'd taken out more than they could handle, assuming things would work out, but they hadn't. Now they were behind on bills. The house was at risk. They couldn't even afford groceries. And that's when her mother said the words that made her blood run cold. "We were hoping you could help us, just until things get better." For a moment, she didn't say anything. Then, calmly, she replied, "You told me to learn to survive on my own. That's exactly what I did. Maybe it's time you ask my sister for help." Silence. Her mother gasped. Her father sounded shocked. Her sister later called her cruel and ungrateful, but she didn't care. Because after years of being treated like she didn't matter, she finally realized she didn't owe them anything. The backlash was immediate. Family members called, guilt-tripping her. "You only have one set of parents. You'll regret it when they're gone." Family helps family. But where were those people when she was scraping by, working 2 jobs just to survive? Her parents had spent decades investing in one child, emotionally, financially, and completely. And now the bill had come due. She didn't wish them harm. She just refused to be their safety net. Because being family doesn't mean being used. Weeks turned into months. Her parents sold their car, then their house. Her sister stopped posting the luxury photos online. The perfect family image was gone. Then one evening, her mother called again. But this time her voice wasn't angry. It was small. "We didn't realize what we were doing," she whispered. "We thought we were teaching you strength." The daughter didn't cry. She just said, "You taught me strength, yes, but you also taught me that love without fairness isn't love at all." That night, something broke, and something else healed. Because sometimes, the only way to move forward is to stop chasing closure and start protecting peace. Months later, during a quiet family gathering, her father finally spoke. "We made mistakes," he admitted. "We thought we were protecting one of you, but we ended up hurting both." For a moment, the room was still. Her sister stared at the floor. Her mother wiped her eyes. It wasn't a full apology, but it was truth. And for the first time, the truth was enough. Because it wasn't about repayment. It wasn't about revenge. It was about finally being seen. That night, she realized something powerful. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for the part of you that's tired of carrying what they broke. Years passed. Her parents downsized, her sister got a modest job, and life quietly moved on. And her? She built something beautiful. A life where she made the rules. A life where love wasn't earned through obedience. It was mutual, balanced, real. Then one afternoon, she got a text from her mother. Just 6 words. "We're proud of what you became." No manipulation, no guilt, just honesty. She smiled, not out of triumph, but peace. Because for the first time, she realized she didn't need their pride. She had already built her own. Her story wasn't about punishment, it was about boundaries, about learning that self-respect is the best inheritance anyone can leave behind. And in the end, the irony was clear. The daughter they ignored became the only one who truly learned how to survive. Because when you stop begging for love, you start finding yourself. So ask yourself this. If the people who once broke your trust came asking for help, would you open the door? Or would you finally understand that walking away doesn't make you heartless? It makes you free. Because sometimes, the greatest act of love is learning when to stop giving it.